So I'm Joanne Cooper, and this is Dannelle Stevens.
Yes.
Hi.
Hi.
We're going to talk a little bit about our own journal keeping processes and how they connect to our book.
Mm-hmm.
So the first question is, how long have you been keeping a journal? Dannelle?
You want me to start?
Yeah,
Okay.
go ahead.
I kept a journal as a little girl, and I got one of those journals that had the little lock on it when I was a kid, and it had, every 5-year journal, and you'd write a sentence or two about every day. That was my first journal, and I thought it was cool, and I really liked it. And then when I was in high school, I kept a longer journal, and it was read by my parents. So I didn't keep a journal for a few years until I got to really college, after college. And, I keep disaster journals, when bad things happen.
Yeah.
But keeping a journal has not been a consistent practice until about the last 20 years. Yeah, 20 years.
Okay, and I started in 1975 when I was given a blank book for Christmas. And so I've been keeping a journal ever since. I started out not doing it daily, but now I write almost every day in the morning when I get up. I really like that ritual of sitting down and reflecting as I begin my day. And in fact, I brought my personal journal to show. And I hate lines, so I really like these ones with lines. And I paste in words that have a certain meaning for me, and also I put in cards and stuff that people give me, etc. And then I also keep a professional journal, and I started doing this in 2000, and this I keep at work, and I write in it all the meetings I go to. I write about my classes. I reflect in here when my students are writing and I'm writing, and this just really helps me to stay organized. I paste things in it. I have my phone lists in here of who I need to call. I have to-do lists. All of that I keep, and then I also even stuff a bunch of stuff in the back of it. So so I keep two journals. It's a process of discovery, and I like to see what comes out the end of my pen.
Mm-hmm.
Peter Elbow says he doesn't think we'd keep writing if it weren't for the surprises. And I've had other journal keepers say that to me. That's like, whoa, that was important to me.
Mm-hmm.
And so it is a process of discovery. What's on your mind? So what keeps me going in my personal journal? I have become what I would call an addicted personal journal keeper. I really don't want to start my day without sitting down and doing some reflecting. I love that time alone. I usually put some music on, and it's just a great way to start the day. And I feel a little more unsettled if I don't have that time in the morning.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
There are days when I don't write, if I'm traveling or I'm busy or whatever.
Really.
But mostly, I really like to start the day that way.
Yeah.
Now, when do you write in your personal journal?
I write in the morning.
Okay, same time.
I go out on this summer now. I can sit out in my front porch and write in the morning, and it's nice. Very nice, very nice. And I like to also start my day that way. It helps me just think about what I'm going to do, what's kind of left over from the other days, and if sometimes I'm thinking of an issue or a challenge. And I say, I've got to write about that tomorrow morning. I've got to write about that. I've got to figure out what's going on. Because lots of times I'll have it swirling around my head, and I think I've got it all figured out. But as soon as I start writing, it changes and it grows, and it becomes something much more worthwhile, something much more interesting, and something much more I can address. Yeah, it's deeper.
Yeah.
But then when I've gone up for promotion, I can go back through those table of contents, and I can remember what committees I've been on, and I can remember easily and track easily what kinds of responsibilities I've had, and master's students I've had, and advising appointments I've had, and it's in there in a chronological order. So it works out very well that way for me. And what's in my professional journal tends to be just a lot of what Joanne was saying, a kind of continual chronology of my life as a professional, going to conferences, going to meetings, talking with students, even reflecting myself. I'll teach a class and I'll go, boy, that really went well. I'm going to write that down. Well, gee, next year I don't think I want to do it that way. So I also write that down so I can remember the kinds of things in my professional life that I want to keep, doing, and those that I want to reassess and not do in the future.
So what is most useful to you, and why do you keep on keeping a journal? Why do you keep doing it?
A professional journal or any journal? Or my professional journal. The most useful thing to me is it's like my storehouse of ideas. Sometimes, as Peter Elbow says, and we write about him in the book, is that to come across an idea is, I don't want to lose it, and a surprise. I'm at a meeting, I'm at a conference, I go, wow, that's a really good idea. I don't want to lose that, so I put it in my journal, and that's the most useful to me, is having a place that I can keep those gems and sort of practice them over and over again in my mind and write them out and diagram them and draw pictures of them.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. That I like that too. I have a terrible memory, and I don't want to carry that stuff around in my head. It's just too much to carry around. So the minute I get it down on paper, then I know that I don't have to carry it around in my head, and that I will be able to remember it and go back and reflect on it, etc. So that's a really, so it works as a memory device for me, and also as a place to stay organized. I'd say those two things for the professional journal. Also brainstorming. We did a lot of brainstorming for the book, and in fact, when we were working together on the book, we would give each other assignments. Okay, next time we meet, you do this, I'll do this, etc.
Right.
You know, and we would have those lists, those to-do lists,
Right.
to make sure that our time together was productive.
Right.
And that was very useful.
Well, and early on when we were starting writing some chapters, I remember we did focused free writes.
Yes, we did, didn't we?
We talked about, we would go, okay, so this chapter is going to be about reflection in adult life. So what do we know? So we'd sit there and each one of us would just write in our own journal. Then we'd come back together, share those ideas, and having processed them through writing, which is so powerful, what a powerful way to kind of grapple with ideas, we were able to, I think, come up with stronger connections.